Hello and welcome to another edition of Mailbag. What is Mailbag? Well, Mailbag is a feature of the channel where you guys leave lots of comments on the channel and I attempt to answer those comments, or if I can't answer those comments, I throw it out to you guys who have more knowledge on some of this stuff than I do. So let's get into the first mailbag of this session. Remember, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Go over to Instagram and follow me there. Go over to Facebook, follow me there. That's where the normal notices are. And consider becoming a Patreon. This is a bit of a long one. Next comment or question comes from Classic Arcade Amusement Park, a regular commentator on the channel, and this was in response to Yamaha's flagship synth backwards compatibility shame about the competition, a mailbag I did in January 2024. And Classic Arcade writes, one of the things I really like about Windows is since Windows 7 came out, it's not too hard to set up a dual boot system, as Microsoft allows you to do this. I'm not sure if it requires the professional version of Windows, as I normally use that and have that ability, or if it works on the home version too. Now that's very interesting because the home version does strip out a bunch of stuff, predominantly around networking and domain or stuff, but I don't know whether it strips out other bits as well. When you turn the machine on, you get the menu with your choice of copy, which copy of Windows you want to start. I set up the old one of my old laptops to boot between Windows 7, 10 and XP. You can also have more than one copy of a version of Windows. So if you want 2 or more copies of Windows 10, for example, you can. So this is perfect for testing things out and having a copy that you might use for gigs or doing work, but you don't want to mess with to find out if there's an issue or not. For me, this means I can use one copy as my main general purpose Windows copy running antivirus, security software, all the drivers installed, etc, 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 and another copy where I've optimized Windows for pro audio, disabling drivers that are not needed, disabling antivirus because that causes potential problems, slowing things down, and other recommended tweaks. I haven't tested a lot in Windows 11 yet, but I was surprised how good a job Windows 10 64-bit does at keeping older Windows XP and some earlier Windows software still running fine. Various arcade emulators and things like that, the general purpose software. Most PC users still use Windows 10. Hello. And it has a high compatibility of software over the last 20 years. I don't hear the same of all Mac OSs, certainly not. You can generally run a Windows 10, a Windows 11 machine if needed, although they've said security updates will stop after October 2025. They announced recently they will offer paid updates to both home and business users for another year. That's standard practice really. If you're trying to update, if you're a business and try and update your business estate, quite often it's very difficult to update your business estate within the Microsoft timeframes, just given the number of machines. The business I work for at the moment is doing a Windows 11 upgrade, and we've run into quite a lot of problems with the image. And when I talk about the image, I'm talking about, so when you put the Windows 11 down onto a machine, normally a corporate will create an image, and that image is the same image that you bash down onto all the machines. So there's some sort of standard. Well, there's a bunch of similar standards across all the machines on the estate. For those of you who didn't understand that. Anyway, previously they only offered extensions on earlier Windows to large business, and that probably had to pay a lot of money. Yes, you do. I can't picture it being too expensive. It's going to be offered to home users. It will be expensive. So most people are probably good until October 2028 if they really don't want to switch, but we'll certainly see developers focusing more on that after October 2025, on the newer versions of Windows after that. Well, I kind of covered that, but thanks for the response. Another detailed response. Now, I do believe, I've written down here that it is a pro function, but I could very well be wrong. Now, the thing is, I don't have the home version. I never use the home version. I've always bought, as my personal copy of Windows, the Pro. And the reason for that is because the Pro version supports a number of functions around things like domain and IP addressing and the way that it works within a home network. Whereas the Home Edition is kind of really what it is. It's just has in the past been just mainly for a standalone PC connected to a Wi-Fi home hub, which doesn't work for me. But there you go. So I can't say one way or the other. Now, I have gone down the route of basically having dedicated workstations for specific tasks, e.g. disk management, and that works pretty well for me up till now. And I've kind of, when I wrote this, I was obviously hinting at the fact that I'd set up plans for this space, which I think we were having the conversations about this space at the time. So, I will get this more formally set up in here as we move forward. Now, a few people have fed back that Windows 11 is proving a challenge, and I'm specifically thinking of Gary from the Deathbeats, who was forced into Windows 11, and what he found out was that Windows 11, there's a whole raft of music drivers that he required that weren't ported to Windows 11 or needed fundamental upgrades to be able to operate on Windows 11, which meant he had a whole bunch of VSTs that just basically did not work, and wouldn't be recognised. So that was a real concern to him. Now, as time goes on, we will get these drivers, hopefully supported by Microsoft. But the thing is that Microsoft will only support certain things, and that's if the vendor is not supporting it, I'm thinking specifically of things like Roland, and Microsoft won't support it, then you kind of have a piece of equipment that might be dead in the water, or VST that you spend good money on, that all of a sudden becomes completely inoperative unless you want to spend more money paying for an upgrade. At the end of the day, I get the whole sort of move forward thing, but it really is a bit of a money making machine rather than a features and functions issue, because they stop making, it's the backwards compatibility that becomes the issue.